What I really liked about, well, I mean, I liked it all, but this was really stuck out to me was your ads. Like when you're posting ads for hiring new positions. Can you talk about that a little bit? Just because it really got my attention, and I think it'd get other people's attention, and how it's designed to attract the right people.
Certainly. So a job posting is an advertisement. It's advertising the job and it's advertising the company. And when people read advertisements or they see a commercial, it will speak to them or not speak to them. Swipe left, swipe right.
Yeah.
And so your job ad needs to appeal to the right type of person. So I'll give you an example. I was working with a group that works with um, children who have different mental disabilities and learning disabilities.
Yeah.
And one of their roles was a technician role. And the job description read very line item, like we talked about before. It's just what are the tasks and what do you need to do?
Mhm.
So it read very, very static. So if you can imagine, you're trying to hire people of a certain personality trait to work with challenging children,
Yeah.
and you want to appeal to those kinds. So they kept getting in these people that were very cold and standoffish and not really um, connecting with the families, not connecting with the children very well, who maybe had low tolerance for chaos.
Yeah.
And so we reworked their job description to appeal for the type whose behavioral styles were like that. They
Yeah.
were warm and friendly. They were calm. They could navigate uncertainty and variety at work versus the ones that needed to do the filing cabinets and check the boxes. And so once we did that, they started getting a lot more applicants because it was speaking to the right type of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So that process, you have to really identify a lot of things, and that's what you do, right? Because I can't imagine you just walk in and offer that one service because it wouldn't work, would it? Like you would have to offer the whole package so that it's a full understanding of the organization and how it's working, right?
Um, so it works best when you have all of the pieces together,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's overwhelming to think about that. So we work with clients typically to narrow in on what's their biggest pinch point right now. Is it hiring? Is it attracting the right candidates for the roles?
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting your new hires to stay? Is it inspiring your current workforce and leading with purpose? Or are you a hot mess and we just need to do a diagnostic to begin with? And so we do offer these different services a la carte, and people can start with one and build over time, or we can start with the whole shebang and then just sequence the rollouts as needed, so that because it's change management for the entire organization, and
Yeah.
we're very conscious of that.
Yeah. 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 So what does that process of the hot mess look like? I mean, what does somebody what should they expect? And I'm not saying they're always a hot mess. I know you aren't either. Sometimes it's just they have no awareness of where to go, right? And they know there's a problem, they've identified it. What's the next thing? Is there like um some kind of worksheet, or what is it?
Yeah, where we often come in with, we'll just call it the hot mess package.
Okay. I
And I
like
say
it.
that tongue in cheek. I say that tongue in
Of
cheek.
course, of course.
But usually there are issues going on in multiple areas of the organization, and where to get traction is the challenge. We specialize in new leadership coming in and trying to get a handle on that and trying to make corrective action fast. That's what they were hired to do.
Hmm.
And so we have a not your grandfather's engagement survey where we do roll it out to the entire workforce or the workforce that is in question.
Yes.
But the questions are very different than when you would see on your typical engagement survey. again, it goes back to our roots in behavioral neuroscience and workforce productivity.
Yeah.
And it's quantified. So we know from our 45 million data points what are the high drivers of engagement and productivity at work. And so there's a barometer for each individual question that's asked.
Okay.
Based on how each team responds, it instantly front and center shows you here's your problem areas you need to tackle first, because it's a high impact on engagement and a high impact on productivity. And we give a timeline of when you should do certain things, like how to analyze, when to communicate the results, take this action this week, this week, this week. So within 4 to 6 weeks, you actually also have prescriptive actions on what you should do for each one of those.
Mhm.
So most engagement surveys, the results come in. There's a lot of discussion about what does this mean. There's a lot more discussion about what should we do.
Mhm.
They're not really sure what to do, and then they have to figure out how to do it. And 6 months can go by, and the employees are like, hello, did you hear anything we said?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the impact is very low, very
Yes.
low.
Yes.
So the software actually generates for you the prescriptive action for the pain points that are highest priority.
Wow.
So you don't even need us. We are happy to help, but you don't need us because it tells you what to do. And you don't have to wait for senior leadership to do some big grandiose thing, because it gives you at every team level what you can work on yourself.
Mhm.
So it puts the power back into the leadership to make changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they do need you, first off. Um, but second to that, like I think that's awesome. That is really powerful. And I've done that myself, like to make the mistake of doing um polling or whatever to figure out what the problems are, and then the results didn't happen fast enough, and then everybody loses interest, and then the person that did it feels, oh, this isn't working. So
Yeah.
you're back to square one, right? So that's good.